Hi guys, welcome to today's Compare the Pair. We will be looking at the Crystal Oracle Guidance from the Heart of the Earth and compare it with the Crystal Oracle Wisdom from the Heart of the Earth. Now these are both by Toni, Carmine, Salerno. This one here is a 2004 edition of the deck. It is the first edition and it is called Guidance from the Heart of the Earth. This one here is a 2022 edition and it is the second edition of the deck, and it has been updated to be called the Wisdom from the Heart of the Earth. So slight difference there in the actual naming of the cards. Now as you can see, there's difference in the sizes of the deck, and we will work our way through the two different decks to see just what is the same, what has changed, and give you a feel for both decks. So we'll start off with looking at the Crystal Oracle Guidance from the Heart of the Earth deck, and as you can see, when you open it up, it is a flip open. It has this beautiful image here of different crystals, and these are the back of the cards. And when you take them out, one of the things that was really interesting about this deck of cards is it actually came with two guidebooks. Now I'm not sure why, it is an anomaly, but it is something that it's always had, and I've always found it quite interesting. They're both identical, there's nothing different about them, but it was just one of the interesting things that came with this deck. So now we'll take a look at the 2022 edition, which has been renamed the Wisdom of the Heart of the Earth. And as you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful box, and the cards on the back are beautiful. And that's the first thing that you notice when you look at these cards is the difference in the backs. This one states the name of the oracle, and this one just has this beautiful image. Now when we have a look at the guidebook for this one, we can see that it is bigger than the original. It's thinner than the original, but it's bigger in size. So the original one, the 2004 first edition, all of the information in here is black and white. It does have images of the cards and they're all in black and white. And this one here, the 2022, again, it has images of the cards and it's all in black and white. So first of all, we'll take an in-depth look at the guidebook and see what the changes are here. So I'll just move these to one side. Hi guys, so now we'll take a look at the different guidebooks and see what they have similar and what they have that is different. So the Crystal Oracle Guidebook was written and published in 2004, and this one is 2022. So as you can see, the size is different between the two decks. The original is thicker yet smaller, and the latest one, the second edition, is a larger book and is thinner. So the original here has everything in black and white in the book. It does have images of the cards as you go along, and this one here also has everything in black and white with images of the cards, so they're similar in that respect. So when we open it up, one of the first things that you'll notice within the guidebooks is that they both have a dedication page, and the information that's in here is pretty much very similar. The wording is identical and there's nothing different about either of them. The next thing that we have is we have the cards, contents. So we have crystals, we have oracle cards, we have usage, and here we have how to use these cards. It then outlines all of the cards, and then this one has about the author and the artist, which is over here. It has the author and artist, art prints, other titles and notes. So those things are missing from here. So when we open it up, it actually tells us about the crystals. So these are pretty much the same information. I've read through it and nothing really has changed. It's pretty much exactly as it was originally. When we continue further, we have how to use the crystals. Again, the information is pretty much the same. We have messages, and then we go into what is an oracle. So the information is almost identical. There is a little bit difference in some of the wording to reflect the passage of time, but otherwise it's exactly the same. So what are oracle cards? It explains what they are. What is truth? We have that in both of them. How the oracle works is in both. Interconnectedness is in both. So this one's much easier to read, being bigger. I think it's more appealing for me personally to be able to read the information. Here we have transformation. We go on, we have duality. When we go here, there are some differences, so we'll get to them in a minute. We have divine guidance, purpose of the cards. So then we get to the actual oracle cards, how to use these cards. So obviously we have here how to use these cards. This one says by Denise Harding in 2004, and this one says by Denise Jarvie in 2022. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm assuming that Denise may have got married and that's why the name is different, but it may be a completely different person, but I don't think so that has written this information. So it comes here and it tells you about welcome and preparing the cards and the intention, which it doesn't have in this original one. So in the original one, it says how to use the cards, your question, reading for another, and the future. In here, it actually has a welcoming and preparing your cards. It has an intention, and then it has your question, which we have over here. Followed by shuffle, which we don't get in the original guidebook. Information about that. We don't get information about jumping cards, and we don't get information about reversed cards, spreads, but we do get information about the future. So here we have the spreads that you can use with the cards, and they are slightly different between the two guidebooks. So here you have a 1-card reading, and we have the same over here. Here we have a 4-card reading, and again it's the same over here, and it's the same information for both of them as to what they respond to. Then we have the elemental star spread in the original guidebook, and it has the interpretation, which is the earth, water, air, fire, spirit, and outcome. But over here, when we use a 7-card spread instead of the 6-card spread, we have your unfolding purpose spread, and it's in a spiral, and it looks at things like yourself, your challenges, your strengths, your muse, your creativity, your purpose, and your direction. So over here we have the rainbow chakra spread. It is in both of them. Here it talks about it being the base chakra, and it says read the foundations. Here it's written a little bit differently as to what it means, but basically they're very similar threads with very similar information. Here we have the creative star thread, which we'd seen over here in this one. They called it the elemental star spread, but as you can see, the cards represent different things. So card number 1 here is water, the feeling. Where over here, card number 1 is earth and the physical issue. Card number 2 is the air and the seed. And over here, card number 2, which is all the way over here, represents water, how the issue affects your emotions. So it's using the same water, air, earth, fire, and spirit, and an outcome or a message, but they're just delivered in a different way. And of course, you have the rainbow chakra spread, which we had seen over here. So then we go into the actual cards. Now I noticed when I was reading through the cards that the difference in them is absolutely minimal. So for instance, here we have the Amazonite. It says peace, serenity, spiritual connection, balance, perception, and creativity. And in the original, it has it down the side. The information that's here is identical. I checked it for, I must say, I didn't check it for every card, but I checked it for more than half the cards, and the information is identical. So I'm pretty confident to say that each card will be identical within the guidebook, regardless of which edition that you have. So here we have the amethyst and the amulet stone, and when we go further in, we have all of the other ones. So again, they're just set out differently, but the information is the same. I must say, when I look at these two guidebooks, I really like the design of the new one. This one feels really chunky. It's kind of hard to open up to read the information that's in here, where this one here, it opens up really easily. You can read everything really easily. I love the fact that the actual text is slightly bigger, so for someone like myself who wears glasses, this one's definitely easier to read, but otherwise it's really much very similar. So they're the guidebooks for you. So now we'll have a look at the cards, and as you can see, the main difference between them is the fact that these ones here are actual photographs of the different crystals, and these ones here are drawings of the different crystals. So the artwork here has been done by, I hope I pronounced this right, it's a tricky name for me personally, but I believe that the artist's name is pronounced Layla Savaline. she's done the 2022 edition. So they're absolutely beautiful. So the main thing is that these cards, if you put them together, they are exactly the same size. They are the same thickness. There doesn't appear to be any difference in them. These ones here, the newer version is a little bit more sturdy than this edition, so maybe this is slightly thicker, but it's really hard to tell personally for me. These ones here are gloss, as you can see. They have the shine to them. I hope you can pick that up in the, yep, there you go. You can pick that up in the video, where these ones here are matte, which is something that I absolutely love and adore, is the matte style cards. So now we'll take a look at the cards. I'm not going to read you all of them because I find some of them tricky to actually state their name, I will be honest, but we'll have a look through them and we will see the differences. Here we have Amazonite, Amber, Amethyst. This is really one of the cards that I really adore in this deck, in the 2022 edition. Amulet Stone, Thunder Eggs, and Amulet Stones. This is one of a few cards that's titled slightly differently, but it is only a slight difference. Crocite. I love the detail that's in this card. As you can see in the 2004 edition, obviously the photograph has detail, but I love the way that it's been drawn here, also in the 2022 edition. Selenite Green in the 2004 edition and Green Selenite in the 2022 edition. Again, another difference that you see, slightly different wording for the cards, which means that originally when they were placed in the deck, this Selenite Green comes further down in the table of contents than the Green Selenite, obviously because they're done in alphabetical order. Moonstone. So obviously these look very different in the colouring chosen for the cards for Moonstone. Again, we have a slight difference here in the wording of the cards. Here we have Jasper Red and here we have Red Jasper. This is one I struggle to pronounce, guys. Rhodochrosite. I hope I pronounced that right. Very pretty card though in the 2022 edition. Rhodonite. Rose Quartz. I love that this is a heart. Tumbled Stones. This one says Rainbow Healing in the 2004 edition. Turquoise. And the last card, Wolfenite. So as you can see, they're very similar in their names of the cards and in the pictures of the cards. Personally for me, I absolutely adore the latest edition. I think it's really eye-catching, it's very beautiful, and it has this real rich, soulful energy. Pure luxury and beauty to me. The original deck, which I was actually gifted from my mother to me quite some time ago, the original deck I find is lovely. It is a deck that I've used quite a lot since I've had it in my possession. I love what it brings to the table. I love the fact that it has the photographs of the crystals, and it's really helped me to connect with their energies. But I have to say, I really adore these. So with the first edition and the second edition, did I waste my money buying the second edition when I already had the first? Absolutely not. I absolutely adore the second edition. It is something that I can see myself gravitating towards using quite a lot. I love the fact that the messages and the guidebook is almost identical to the original, so therefore I don't have to relearn the way that Toni had wished, Toni the creator had wished for the messages to come through. I already understand the energies of the crystals, and I've had a lot of connection with them. So I absolutely love that all of that comes with the new deck. I love the fact that it has a revamped, updated, more glorious depiction of the crystals. I think that they allow a different energy to flow through, which is something that I really like. The Crystal Oracle by Toni, Carmine, Salerno, the first edition, Guidance from the Heart of the Earth, and the Crystal Oracle by Toni, Carmine, Salerno, the second edition, Wisdom from the Heart of the Earth. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the differences, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Bye.